Hello everyone, we're Group 7 and today we'll be presenting our report on sustainability problems presented in the fast fashion industry with Zara and H&M as the focus of our analysis. My name is Lucy and my group members are Yifan, Yizhao and Nashwa. So, a quick introduction. In the fast fashion industry, marketers, organizations, and brands should be aware of sustainability issues such as environmental, labor welfare, and animal welfare. The fashion industry utilizes heavy chemicals that contaminate both land and water throughout its manufacturing process. In 2015 alone, the industry was responsible for 15% of all textile waste, 1.7 billion tons of carbon dioxide emissions, and used 79 billion cubic meters of water. Furthermore, for fast fashion companies to sell their products at a cheap price, forced and underpaid labor becomes an issue to help generate more profit through lowering labor costs. Due to the high demand for these fast fashion products, billions of animals are mass slaughtered each year for their leather and fur, which raises animal exploitation concerns in the fashion industry. Next, Yifan will go over the gaps.
The first gap is plastic pollution problem. Plastic pollution has always been the focus of the fast fashion industry, but most of the fast fashion industry's attention to plastic issue is the wearable process of consumers in packaging, transportation, and retail. However, not much attention has been paid to the presence of plastic derivatives in the product fabrics. These man-made fibers are difficult to degrade by the nature means once thrown away. Therefore, the problem of plastic pollution in the fast fashion industry can not only stop at the wearable part of consumers. The second wave is recycling program only stay on the surface. Fast Fashion Group has launched used clothing recycling project in recent years. Although the amount of the recycling clothes is high, the final utilization rate is not high. The reason is that the synthetic and mixed fiber fabrics used to make fast fashion clothing are difficult to separate during recycling. Additionally, fast fashion clothing tend to be for poor quality and cannot be worn repeatedly. So most recycled clothing end up in landfills and incineration. Therefore, the actual effort of the fast fashion used clothing recycling program is not matching the purpose. The final gap is the human rights issue in the supply chain. The rapid development of fast fashion has provided a large number of employment opportunities of developing countries. However, the key suppliers and original equipment manufacturers of the fast fashion group generally have excessive pollutant emission and inhuman treatment of employees, but the fast fashion group often involve the responsibilities of the ground that they do not own factories. On the other hand, the cheap dye and the chemical used in the manufacture of fast fashion clothing also seriously affect the health of workers. Therefore, the fast fashion group urgently need to address the human rights issue involved in the supply chain. There are three approaches for our group to identify the gap in the fast fashion industry. The first way is by reading the sustainability report and the annual report of fast fashion industry companies. Our group also identified the gap through the news report, historical review of authoritative media, and data from the third-party agency. Furthermore, our group compares the gap between the Go and the fast fashion groups and the reality of the industry by reading reports, essays, and data from government agencies, international organizations, and industry-related research literature.
Okay, so now we move on to the recommendations. The first is to use alternative materials, the second is to promote transparency and ethical consumption, and the third is to enforce a monitoring system.
So, from the gaps mentioned, we recommend the following suggestions. First is the use of alternative materials such as linen-based materials. According to World Life Fund, cotton requires around 25% of the world's pesticides and 2.5% of the world's water resources, and cotton fields only take around 3% of the world's agricultural area. However, flax, the material to make linen, uses much less water than cotton and can be grown in poor soil conditions, meaning they are not as high maintenance and has a high rate of carbon uptake. Therefore, fast fashion industry should consider increasing the use of linen-based materials. And second, we found out that 42% of recycling claims made by various businesses are false, and most product information they provide is just about the materials they use, and the recycling process information is missing to consumers. That is why we suggest fast fashion increase transparency via the existing technology that they have, like this scannable barcode that H&M has to influence consumers on an individual level. This technology, together with the app they have, can also be used to track consumer purchases as a record and let them know of the effect of their purchases on the environment. Lastly, social marketing through collaboration with relevant influencers, government, and environmental organizations can also help to guide consumers on how to consume ethically.
The human rights issue as the gap identified before, we suggest the fast fashion brand set up their own monitor system to inspect their suppliers. The fast fashion brand used to escape from their responsibility by using the technology of neutralization or legitimation. During the production phase, fashion brands always treat themselves as consumers and trying to disengage with modern slavery. Brands are saying it's not safe for it's all on the suppliers and nothing they can do as consumers. The monitor system is aiming to provide a chance for the workers to protect their self-interest and a chance for the brand to improve the ethical standards and to see whether the suppliers is cheating on them. The system will bundle up the brand with the suppliers to make sure they are working together. The brand has the duty to care about the labors, and the brand can also create social marketing campaigns about this system. With the campaign, the suppliers can show that they care about their workers' welfare instead of only caring about the money. As there are hundreds of suppliers and thousands of factories are working together, the monitor system works in a random checking mode by random picking up the factory to check.
Thank you all so much for listening, and that concludes our presentation.